I'm back to another live stream, and I have not downloaded Discord on my other phone. Huh. It's alright. I'm going to throw a link up to this live stream. Maybe. What are you trying to give her? Stella, it'll be just a second. Alright. No, Lucy. Hey, what's up, everybody? Divine Spirits Tacos Girl Messages TV. Hello, hello. Very long name. How can I shorten that? Let's see. Divine Spirits, maybe? Let's just go with that. Alright, hang on. Trying to get this shared real quick. I will. That's a little bit crooked, ain't it? Let's see. That's pretty good. Alright. How do I... Huh. There we go. There we go. Alright, real quick. While I... Oh, you know what? I forgot to put a title on this. Huh. That's the first time I've ever done that. I thought I did do it. Maybe I just didn't save it. Oh well. Not a big deal. I'll fix it after. Copy the link. I don't have a picture. I gotta take care of that real quick. Maybe. Camera lens is dirty. What's up, Joe? Whoa. Interesting question. No. Siri popped up for some reason. Alright, quick picture. I'm going to let you guys pick the MRE tonight. I do have long-range patrols over here that I can dig out if someone... They're just... Honestly, they're kind of boring. Even though those are the vintage ones, they are the least boring of the long-range patrols, because generations before that, you go into, like, the many different colors of brown, and then there was the dark green, and then you get back into the paper and the canvas bags, but they're like a main and a couple coffees, and usually like a candy, some sort of candy, whether it be a disc or some sort of bar. They're just extremely boring to go through. Usually they hold up pretty well. Obviously, freeze-dried mains. That generation right there, and then the ones after with the modern stuff in them are, if you go back to 2004-ish, it's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt the cat. Holy cow. Just let her have it. Anyway. Alright, let me get this post done real quick. Picture. And it's not letting me add one. Seriously. This is one thing that sucks about posting on YouTube, or even when you're doing a live stream. If your pictures aren't uploaded into the picture log, or the pictures that you have chosen to be in, then you have to back completely out of the app, close the app completely out, and then go back in, and it'll ask you, you want to select more photos or keep the current selection. So I've got to back all the way out and then come back in again, just to be able to upload a picture of what is actually going on tonight. Oh, dang it. See, but it said select more photos. Pick a picture. after I wiped my lens off. Hopefully I didn't lose my... Whoa. Where'd the picture go? That was weird. No, I don't want to edit it. Next. Okay. Now paste. Alright. But yeah, the last two generations of the long-range patrols are really the only ones that really are any count, in my opinion. Like the transition period where they looked more modern, and they started in like 2000. When did they start? 2000. I know the Mill Cold Weather started in 2004, and then long-range patrols had that style of bag, like the it would have been 96 to 2007, that style bag. But it obviously long-range patrol, but they were that style of bag. Okay, that's weird. I'll come back to this later. Anyways, I saw something pretty interesting I want to share with you guys later tonight. That anyway, you'll see. Hopefully, I can pull it up. Yeah, I can remember the title of the video, and I'll show you guys. Let me go back through the chat real quick, and then we will. You guys, you seen the picture? I can't even remember. I got this menu out last week, and I just threw it up here. This is a menu number 8. That light shine off of there. Beef diced with gravy, and it's probably backwards on your screen. Maybe not. Maybe it's, you can correctly read it. But for me, it is flipped, mirrored. So menu number 8, beef diced with gravy. This is a Right Away Foods. So Rafco. I don't remember what year this is. I want to say, does it have the little pouch stand in it? I can't tell. If it has the pouch stand, it's 1987. This one came from gabeRILLA. I'm running out of these. When he hooked me up with these, he had left them in his storage unit for 2 or 3 years, and he was really worried about the extreme amount of heat that they had seen. Now, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, how much better, even though this is kind of the introduction of a lot of preservatives being used, a lot of chemical preservatives being used. The early stuff that was lesser so of the heavy chemical use food. So like, I don't know, what would you say, 1980, I believe 87 is really when things started to drastically change. And not just MRE food, but food in general in the United States. There started to be, I need to call them that, there started to be a lot more use of preservatives, and I prefer to eat older food. That makes no sense. It really doesn't make a lot of sense when you say it out loud, when you think about it. I prefer to eat food that is almost as old as I am over eating modern, freshly made food. Hey, Amber, will you walk back there and tell him to just kind of take it down a notch or two? These look brand new too. I don't know if you can really tell on camera just how good. I've opened a lot of MREs in my day, and sometimes you'll get MREs straight out of the case that just don't look fresh or well preserved. And then sometimes you'll open a case and it'll look real nice and shiny and look like it's nice and new, but they won't be edible. I've had both happen. I've had them look really rough and be pretty decent. Usually if they're rough though, there's going to be some degradation when it comes to the actual food. But if you open them up and they look perfect, then, you know, it's a 50-50, you know, because it just means that they didn't get shuffled around a lot of dirt and stuff didn't get down inside of them. Maybe they, some of these, I think it's very possible, set on bases for years, got shifted around from maybe one warehouse to another, or maybe they got stuffed in the back of the warehouse and forgotten about for years. It's really hard to tell. A lot of these ended up in civilian hands early on. Guys would probably bring them home whenever they didn't use them all up or something. I don't like the way, personally, I don't like the way the new MRE types are, the direction that they're taking, especially with the clear packaging. I think we can all agree, if you've watched any MRE videos over the years, and you look at things that are packaged in that clear commercial, like, it's a really lightweight plastic too. It's not anything like this in my hand, or this. You know, it's when you throw that clear on there, number one, you're allowing sunlight in, which, believe it or not, like, even seeping through a little bit, it's going to hurt them. It's going to hurt their shelf life. Now, of course, the government's only worried about these things lasting, you know, 3 to 5 years, really. And realistically, our government sure has no qualms about feeding 5-year-old food to their guys. And I don't either. As long as they've been stored halfway decent, 5 years old is nothing. As a matter of fact, that's going to be how old this is. This should be a 19, I believe. Wait, is this a warning? Yeah, it's a warning. So it's not going to have a date code on it. But I'm pretty sure it's a 19. Although I did shift a bunch around, and I had 18s and 19s. This could be an 18. I don't know. But my chat is not staying up for some reason. Let me see if I can fix that. And I'll put it on live chat and see if that'll keep it up. Stella has had a very rough day today. She is... Stop it. She's not been able to walk very well today, so she's having issues with, we think it's probably her foot, and that Shar-Pei fever stuff that she's supposed to maybe have is they compare it to like a human having gout. So I don't know how, we're giving her the medicine that she's supposed to take for it, which it's that colchicine. It kind of scares me, actually. I think it's the side effects of it are pretty extreme, but she's been taking it for a while now. She's actually about out of it, and we got to get her more, and we're going to have to take her to the vet again. But she's been super whiny. She's like a huge baby now. Be extremely careful. Yep, neither one of my vehicles are on the road right now. All right, I'm going to flip the camera around. You guys pick the MRE for tonight. We've got Mexican style chicken stew, menu number 15 from Warnick, and it's going to be an 18 or a 19. And then we have the menu number 8, beef diced with gravy. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of this menu, and it has the ability to trick your palate. If it's bad, it can taste okay for a while. I know that sounds crazy, but it's happened to me, I don't know how many times. Like, I'll take the first few bites, it'll be none of the indicators are there of it being off. And then after you start getting into like the third or fourth or fifth bite, your tongue will go numb, or it'll start stinging under your tongue and your cheeks. It's a really weird thing to happen, because I don't know, it's just there's certain menus that you can take a few bites and you seem okay until it's not. So it is what it is, I suppose. So we have, yeah, both of them sound doesn't do it for me. I mean, of course I could eat it. No sound. No sound. A Google thing. That can't be on my end. Right. I want it. I know, she had some earlier today, too. All right, Mom's got your food ready in there. Go eat. Go on. Go eat. Come on. Can you come in here and eat? Oh, okay. Okay. Whew. It's even a chore getting her to her food. Okay, what I was saying was chicken stew's not the type of menu that I can just eat all the time, or that I like to eat, I should say. That I like to eat all the time. It's more of a, I like it in the fall when it starts to cool down, or in the winter, because it's more or less like a chili or a vegetable stew, kind of like a vegetable soup with chicken. So it's just a personal opinion. Wait, what? I couldn't see what you said. I can't. I've only got Discord on this phone. You guys, if you want to Discord, if you go back in my links, or maybe somebody can put a link to it up here. There is a Discord that I've got going. If you guys want to join that, Investory or Greg has got a bunch of different like threads. I think they're called. Are they called threads? or what are pages, or I'm not sure what they're called actually. I'm not fluent in Discord talk. But all right, one more time, let's take a some weird. Let's take one more channels. One on the right is the sure bet. Everybody's saying, well, I don't know if everybody's saying, but one more. Decide my meal for me real quick, and we'll go from there. So just say menu 15 or menu 8. Looks like we got a stew. Got a couple votes for the stew actually. I would say there's probably more components in the stew, but I could be wrong. They're both good. I have seen a couple of the newer style MREs, and I didn't see any coffee in them. Like, come on. I'm so disappointed. We got quite a few votes for 15, and then we got Elandil there with an 8. So it's looking like overwhelmingly 15. Although if there are more people in here in the chat, I will give it a second to decide. Yeah, I know, dude. I don't get it. I don't understand why they would take the coffee out. Hey, K-Man just joined the server. I just got a notification. All right. K-Man must be here tonight. Hey, Kaylin. We got Kaylin. You're Corey, right? Aren't you Corey? Hey, yeah. K-Man is here. We always got to thank K-Man for starting MREinfo.com, because without it, we would not be here. Period. Just that's a fact. No doubt. Bring back the coffee. What a goofy thing. Like, what? I don't even know what. I don't know. I really don't know what they're thinking. And I have said this before, but I need to be reminded, I guess, or something. I need to make a note in my phone or something. I need to get a hold of my buddy that works at Natick and see, like, what are they thinking? What are they doing? What's the future look like? And see if maybe we can influence that somehow as the ration community, because we probably have more feedback gathered here on the internet about individual menus and components than they could have ever dreamed of having with live testing. You know, hey, Art, hey, how you doing, man? Ain't seen you in forever. I was going to cut this open, but let's see if it'll just open. Here, let me tilt the camera down. Let's get into some Mexican-style chicken stew, menu 15 from Warnick. It'll either be an 18 or a 19. I'm not sure which. All right. There we go. All right. Not bad. So, I might honestly prefer older food. And this isn't really older. I mean, it's 5-6 years old. But I know for a fact I prefer old food in general. If it's still edible, if it's still good, I much prefer to eat old food over fresh food when it comes to rations, MREs in general. All right, there we go. That's everything out of the bag. Let's find out what we got here. First off, we got some soup in a bag, Mexican-style chicken stew. Where's the date code on that? Looks like the 39th day of 2019. I was going to say 2009 because that's 0, but I was wrong. Ooh, we got some cheddar cheese pretzels. Man, these are one of my favorites. Love me some combos. Actually, I like the nacho cheese ones better. Here's our accessory packet. Oh, man, I didn't get coffee. The heck? Cheese spread with jalapenos. This usually goes good with the Mexican-style chicken stew. What do you need? You want to go out? All right. Oh, that's weird looking. That's like green. It's like a military, not OD, but like a military green. That's weird. Might not look that way on camera, but in person, it's certainly green. We got our partially biodegradable MRE spoon. I ain't had this in a minute out of an MRE. Some mixed fruit. Looks like 16th day. These are early 2019s. So they are what? They're a solid 5 years old. Solid 5 years old. All right, this is what we got instead of coffee. We got the chocolate hazelnut cocoa. 140 calories in that bad boy. These are all right. They're all right. They're not bad. Got your flameless ration heater, of course. I never use them. I've got a stockpile of flameless ration heaters. If anything ever happens, and, you know, obviously you don't want to use up all your propane all the time on cooking a little individual meal, flameless ration heaters are going to come in quite handy. There is our nutritionals. Looks like 940 milligrams of sodium, 40% of your daily value, 200 calories. That's kind of low for a main, honestly. Yeah, this has got 140, doesn't it? Yeah, that's 140. What's in our mixed fruit here? 110. 280. More calories in there. Then there's the main. 240. That's the same as the main, right? Nope, more than the main. How many is in our cheese spread? 120 calories in the cheese spread. And last but definitely not least, we have our MRE crackers. Always good to have some crackers to go with that cheese spread. And let's check out our accessory packet real quick. 47th day. That's the latest date I've seen so far. I went through my accessory pack, some of my accessory packet stuff a couple weeks ago. I have got a bunch of leftovers. All right, first, the United States issued butt ration, or you can use it as a napkin or paper towel. If there's really a difference, I don't think there is. Pack of iodized salt. You're going to have 6 grams of that, right? That says 4 grams. Okay, 4 grams of iodized salt. Some crushed red pepper. This is going to be more like your flakes, like that you get at Pizza Hut and some pizza places. And of course, you got the latex-free moist towelette. A lot of writing. A very strong napkin-sized towelette saturated with a cleaning lotion, cleans and refreshes hands and face without soap or water. Self-dries in seconds, leaves the skin soft and smooth. Then you got directions. Tear open packet and use. That's funny. Oh boy. That was a needed addition to the steps and to the text on the back of that. Because how else would you know how to use this? You got to tear it open and use it. Brooksville, Florida. I don't know where Brooksville, Florida is. I've never heard of Brooksville, Florida. But printed and made in the USA. It's a quality product right there. We got some white chiclet style gum. And last, but definitely not least, we have our beverage-based raspberry Type 3. These are actually pretty decent, to be honest. I am a fan of the raspberry over top of just about anything else when it comes to those little individual, like quick made packets that are sugar-free. I am not a sugar-free fan, and it's going to have, yeah, I figure. What's in this? Hang on. That shadow is driving me crazy. How do I fix that? Oop. Aha, much better. Yeah, Bill's Brew is better than nothing, Tim. That's what I'm saying. Like, bring back the coffee. What is the sweetener in this? I'm trying to read it through the camera, and it's kind of blurry. All right, hang on. Let me just read it myself. Oh, here we go. I was looking in the wrong place. Yep, that's what I figured. It's got aspartame in it. There it is. There it is, right there. Good old aspartame. All right, let me go through this into some boiling water. We'll need hot water for that. And I think that's it. Okay. All right, be right back. All right. Let me set a timer. Hey Siri, set a timer for 4 minutes. All right, 4-minute timer. What can we get done in 4 minutes? Accessory packet stuff off to the side. Get the tray. Cheese spread. Well, that's actually probably going to go right there. Mixed fruit. Crackers. Combos. Alright, let's get this into a cup. I'm going to use the Delicious cup again. There we go. Delicious MRE on YouTube. There we go. Throw the powder in here. I don't think I'm pretty sure there's no caffeine or anything in this. These bags are nice to have, but if you're going to put scalding hot, boiling water into one, you got to be super careful or wear gloves. One or the other. Because if not, like, you're just asking for it. Alright, let me go grab that water, and that's what I needed. I need a bottle of water. I don't have one here. All right. Sorry about that. Had to wash the measuring cup. It was in bad shape. What the? Huh. Oh, there's the timer. Stop. I will put the water in this and then I will go. All right, be right back. Didn't finish your food, Stella. Alright, I got that wrapped up in a towel so it'll stay hot. Let's finish the rest of this prep. I'll let that sit before I stir it up here in a second. Alright. See if we can get this. There we go. All right. Joe was on the Discord. Who else? Seeing we've got some folks joining tonight. It's nice. Nice little community we're building over there. It certainly has a very, very dark color to it. I'd really like to see the U.S. start eliminating food dyes across the board. Like, we don't need this. Like, literally, you could take the color completely out of it, and it should not affect the taste. And it'd be a lot more, well, not a lot more, but it would be healthier. Because, you know, this has got red 40 in it. I can almost guarantee it. Let's look. Well, there's blue. Blue number 1. Huh. I'm not seeing any red. Well, that ain't... I mean, I guess blue number 1 is almost red, maybe? Oh, there it is. How did I miss that? Red 40. Does it say lake? It doesn't. Usually it says red 40 lake. But, yeah, same difference pretty much, I'm sure. I don't know what the difference between red 40 and red 40 lake is, but I'm going to say it's probably negligible. Blue 1, red 42, yellow 5. Hike. Yeah. Yep, yellow 5 caused me to have kidney stones whenever I was like, I think I was 16. I was working construction with my stepdad. And, yeah, it was bad. Ended up in the emergency room. Yep. There we go, look at that. It smells exactly like how you think it smells. It smells like cheese and bread. There's a lot of them in that pack. It seems like pretty decent amount. Some of them broke up a little bit, but there we go. A little bit of salt and stuff down in there. All right, next, let's get the crackers out. Let's see if we get us a good hiss, which they are certainly sealed properly. Nice. Very good little vacuum release there. And, of course, I can pretty much guarantee you these haven't been beat up, but the crackers are just not built to last anymore. Honestly, they're kind of a pain in the butt to mess with. They make a mess every single time that you get some out of a package. And I have to imagine that out in the field, or if you're trying to eat in a Humvee or something, like, you don't want to make a mess like this. And there's still more crumbs in there. Like, this is just, they got to fix the cracker issue. Why don't they just legitimately go back to the drawing board, or even better, go back to the first generation MRE crackers, like the 1980 to 82 ones, 80 to 80, maybe even 84. Because I know I've gotten some in 85 didn't have the salt on them, but I would much prefer to see the salt on the outside of them again. It surely wouldn't hurt my feelings any. Still, all right, we'll do a little hole there. Smaller the hole, the more control, Gundog says. That's certainly true. Go ahead and slit this thing open too. It's of the chocolate variety. It's not getting as lucky as last week, or last live stream had a crayon raspberry, my favorite. Huh, I didn't cut below the seal. My bad. There we go. Got it that time. There it is. Chocolate bar. Some Rice Krispies in it. Let's give that cocoa beverage, well, hazelnut cocoa beverage, good stir, because, you know, I thought it would mix up or kind of just all dissolve, and it has not. Definitely still a bunch of it stuck to the bottom of the cup. Either the water didn't go all the way through the powder layer, or the water wasn't hot enough. I think the water was hot enough. Let's get some bowls out here. Man, I got crumbs everywhere. It drives me crazy. Bowl for our main. Let's do our mixed fruit first. Oh yeah, not looking the greatest. Oh, she's a little dark. Certainly took on a brown tone to it. Oh, there's that one little piece of cherry in there. Might be the only one we get. Usually you get one cherry. It's stuck down in the corner. That might be it right there. Which ain't much. And you got some like leftover smushed residue on the inside there. But of course. Alright, let's take a look at our stew. Chicken chili, Mexican style. Or chicken vegetable soup, Mexican style. Oh yeah, that's good and hot. My goodness. Yes, yes. Inspected. USDA approved, I'm sure. Inspected and passed by the Department of Agriculture. There we go. Corn. Oh, smells like vegetable soup. Honestly, tomato is like the main scent, and then it does have a vegetable smell to it as well. I don't really pick up on any of the chicken. That's not an aroma that's really coming from this main. I don't smell any chicken at all. And for a change, my nose and my taste buds are working quite well today. For a change. We went out and had a steak dinner the other day, and I could not taste any of it. Now, this has been a reoccurring problem basically ever since I had COVID. My taste and smell comes and goes. And when I like it, I really can't taste anything sometimes. Doesn't happen a lot, but I would say a few times a year now that it happens, and it'll last a couple days. And then it gradually comes back, or it sometimes, like the other day, it just kind of all came back at once. It's kind of weird. Nope. Minnie's wanting in. Amber, can you get her? She's clawing at the window right here. All right, let's dig in to menu number 15 from 2019, Mexican-style chicken stew. Now, the main ingredient in this, it says, is the chicken. So this should have more chicken in it than anything else. You've got chunks of tomato in there, obviously. I guess that's what that is. Oh, pepper. Yeah, that's a tomato. Looks like the texture of a tomato. You got corn in there. Is that onion? Nope, celery. Obviously your tomato base. Vegetable-wise, it really looks like a little bit of celery, some tomato chunks, corn. I think this would be really good if you made some tortillas out of it. Now, if you could get a little strained out a little bit, get a little bit of the liquid out of it, I think this would make a killer, like, wrap with a little bit of cheese, a little bit of lettuce. Oh, this would be awesome. It'd be like a chili cheese burrito with chicken. Be awesome. It says that there's green chili peppers in here, diced tomatoes, cilantro, tapioca starch, chicken base, salt, spices, chili pepper, garlic powder, canola oil, vinegar, jalapeno pepper powder, paprika extract, sugar, and citric acid. All right, let's give it a try. It's really hot. Lots of corn there on that little area. Let's take a look at that piece of chicken. A little weird. Let's look at the cross section. Okay, so this is pressed and formed. It's not just actual chunks of chicken. This is pressed and reformed into cube form. I don't like when they do that. I think that's an unnecessary added step. It doesn't need to be repressed and formed into bigger chunks or whatever. Just put the chicken in there, you know? All right. I wish this had green beans in it. That's one thing I wish it had in it, is a decent amount of green beans. All right, here we go. Down the hatch. It's hot. Salty, tangy, then savory. The corn sticks out texture wise. The chicken's texture is nice too. It's not bad. A lot of times whenever they do that pressed and formed, reformed, I don't like it. So far, so good. It's certainly very soup-like. And since it's nice and hot, it's not too thick. But if you let it sit there and get cold, or cool down too much, it'll be way thicker than I like. I'll just try this. No surprise. Basic MRE cracker that's needs a lot of work. It basically just tastes like dried up flour pressed into a brick and then baked a little bit. I don't feel like they bake them enough to give it a caramelized, just at least give it a little bit more flavor if they bake it a little bit longer. Brownie? No. You're going to end up knocking stuff down. Girl, stay. All right, let's try a bite of them together. It is kind of salty. That's the first thing that I did notice was the level of salt. Might have been a little bit of vinegar to that as well. I'll come back after that cracker here. All right. That certainly gives it more of a chili type vibe. Adding the cracker in, really reminiscent of some saltines and some chili. Cheddar cheese, cracker. They're combos. Cheddar cheese combos with cracker instead of pretzel. I'm a pretzel fan. The cracker's okay. I've noticed about the cheddar cheese, it's got kind of a sweetness to it. I would say it's more on the bland side of the cheeses. It's salty. The cracker itself, I'm not a huge fan of the cracker, but not bad. It's crunchy. It does have a nice caramelized flavor to it, though. So, a lot better than the MRE cracker, I guess. Look at that. Just the cheese core almost. I gotta try that. Can't say that I've ever had that happen before. That's a lot of flavor. There is a lot of flavor to that cheese if you just get the cheese, I guess. It's really smooth, kind of artificially cheesy tasting, but not horrible. Let's try some of the cheese spread with jalapenos. Not seeing any jalapeno chunks in there. It's got a good color to it. It's maybe a little bit off. A lot of times you'll see it a little bit brighter yellow than this. This has got more of a flesh tone to it. Cracker falling apart, man. Cheese spread with jalapenos is certainly the best in my opinion. I will have to agree with you there. Hard Knocks 2000. Out of the cheese spreads, I haven't had bacon in a while, but it just seems like really artificial to me, the bacon. Like artificial bacon flavor added. It's like I got some green beans the other day, and whoever the chef was added a bunch of that fake smoke stuff to it, and they were just, ugh. Like, they already had bacon in the green beans anyway. Leave them alone. Like, they're going to taste really good if you just leave them alone. You don't need to add that extra smoke. Oh. So that cheese spread does have a little bit of heat to it, obviously. You know, jalapeno level heat. It's pretty low level. I wish I could still enjoy really hot stuff, but I think those days are behind me now. Maybe one of these days. Maybe one of these days. I don't know. Cracker, cheese spread, bite of chicken stew, Mexican style. This is a really hearty main. It's got a really good feeling to it. For, like I said, for winter. It's a really good colder weather type meal. Kind of feels like it sticks to your bones. There is a lot of salt though. I mean, I can just taste it. This is, I don't know, this is overly salty compared to normal. That, or maybe I'm just more sensitive to it right now for some reason. I haven't eaten. I'm getting back on my fasting track and working pretty hard on trying to get that back to. I kind of lost myself on it there for a while. The cheese spread didn't really add much to it. I mean, I tasted it when I first put it in my mouth, but it's stiff. All right, here we go. Cheese spread's cold too. Room temperature in the 60s. Yeah. What is that? It's like a piece of wood. That's weird. That is like a piece of wood. It's stiff. It poked me in the lip, and I was like, what the heck is that? Huh. Okay. Let's try some of this crushed red pepper. Spice it up a little bit more, huh? I've got to try a bite with one of these as well. You're gonna see. There's your crushed red pepper. It's just like that stuff that you get at the like Pizza Hut or pizza places. This is one of the things you'll see with dollar slices in New York that's on the table. Not a huge fan of it myself, but if I'm burnt out on something, it'll add what it needs to change it up, you know. It's a nice little addition to have, I will say that. I'd much rather have it than not. All right, let's see how this is with a combo. I'm just calling them combos. Cracker cheese combo. Now that really did add something. That took it to a whole nother level. Overall, the flavors are a whole lot more complex. I know that sounds weird, but that cheese really done something when it mixed with the flavors of this. It brought the saltiness down a lot, kind of leveled out all the salt that's in there. I'm impressed. I did not think it'd make that big a difference. I figured it would just be like, you know, they're usually just their own thing, but this really does add to it. There's another, like, almost just all cheese bite. We'll go with this crushed red pepper here. Try that out. Wow. It's got a lot of heat to it. More than I'm used to with the crushed red pepper. I can't say enough about this. That really brings this up a whole notch. Completely changes the flavor profiles. Kind of balances everything out more. Adds like a slight creaminess to it. And then it also kind of adds like a smoky flavor to it. I don't know, man. I like it. I like it. I don't have any more. There's just a lot of cheese. I guess I can make one. Well, I just ate, well, that or it didn't have any in it. Didn't have any in it. Huh. Oh well. I like that heat too. It's not too much, not too little. No, brownie. No, brownie. No. Get down. I'll add a little bit more to this in here. They certainly give you enough. It doesn't say how much is in here, but I figure it's like probably 4 grams. Maybe it's less. It might be like 2 grams. That piece of chicken's weird. Ugh. I don't know about you guys, but I do not like getting gristle. Especially in my chicken. My steak, like, yeah, whatever. But in my chicken, ugh. I don't know why it just creeps me out. That tasted funny all the way around. Just tried to break a little piece off, and you see, I got nothing but complaints about those stupid crackers. Big old chunk of tomato. All right, we'll rinse that down with some of this sugar-free raspberry. That's meant for a 20-ounce bottle of water, so it's a little bit strong in this 16.9, but it's really nice and refreshing. It's fruity. It does have a little bit of that slight, and I do mean very slight, aspartame aftertaste. But if you consider the others that are sugar-free with the aspartame that they make like this one, I mean, they really don't even compare. This one's just 10 times better. It really is. All right, so we have some fruit cocktail that appears to have seen better days. We have a grape right there. It's nice and deflated, obviously. You have many other way in a batch of fruit cocktail. Peach, piece of pear, and some syrup. Some sizzurp. Little tiny piece of cherry right there. Another little tiny piece right there. Did we not get a half a cherry in here? Like, that's unusual to not at least get a half. Huh. I'm seeing like a couple little pieces in there, but that's about it. Nope. No cherry this time. No, like, actual cherry. Couple grapes, though. There's a grape. It's sweet. That's about all I can say for it. It doesn't taste much like any fruit in general. It's just kind of a bland, indistinguishable fruit flavor that, kind of all blends together. I guess you're getting some nutrition out of this. Not a whole lot. It's super easy to eat. I missed my cherry, though. Yep, definitely not one in there. That stuff has virtually no texture to it as well. It's super soft. Very easy to eat, though, like I said. All right, here is our first Strike bar. Look how perfect that thing looks. Some foods are just not supposed to look like this, though. Look at that. Yeah, buddy. I assume this is what it looks like before it goes into the package. Kind of block that off and you get an idea. More of a rough. I mean, the packaging makes it look all smooth like that from travel and compaction, and I assume that's why. Just the way it settles in the package. There's your cross section. It ain't got a whole lot of a smell to it either. This one doesn't. Give it a try. The newer ones, like 2018 up, are much better than the 2013, 2012, 2013 to like 2016. They had a real, almost like a whiskey type flavor to them. These are much more chocolatey. I would call them lightly sweet. I mean, they're sweet, but not like a candy bar type sweet. I'd say it's about 3 levels below that. The texture's nice. It's kind of like a chocolate taffy with crunchy bits in it. I want to dip it. Yeah, we'll dip it first. Why not? This should soften it up substantially. Depending on how long I hold it in there, I guess. Nope. Didn't soften it up hardly at all. That kind of has almost like a coffee smell to it. Corn syrup's the second ingredient. Well, corn syrup solids. Coconut oil. That's not too bad. Got to have some carrageenan and tetrasodium phosphate. Got to have those. Dipotassium phosphate and mono and diglycerides. Monoglyceride or monoglyceride? I don't know. That looks really good, though. Brownie, no, you can't have this. I think that looks like anything that you could get in a nice, like, coffee shop or something like that. That's got that kind of caliber of a look to it. Let's see how it tastes. Hazelnut. I wouldn't call it gourmet. I put too much water in this. I watered it down a little bit too much. I think I put 2 extra ounces of water in it. It called for 6 ounces and I put 8. Usually that's fine, but I guess these more modern pouches like this, they're just not like the old cocoa beverage powder. The old cocoa beverage powder, you could put 9, 10 ounces of hot water in that and it is still amazing. This got watered down pretty easily. The flavor's still there. The hazelnut's still there. It's creamy. It's nice to have a hot drink since there's no coffee. So, at least there's that. And honestly, mixed with the First Strike bar, not a bad combination. Not a bad combination of the two. Yeah, I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of this too. But now that I've started on this, I don't want this. Give me a minute and I might go back to it. Alright, oh, here it is. I was going to say, I had a Canadian smoke out last time. I didn't get to have it. Alright. I think this is a Export A or a Players. Like, I think it's called Players or Players Club. I'm not sure. Let's look at the chat for a little bit. Hello, LC. Hello, Cliff. Notifications not working. Hey, join the crowd. Mine don't work either. I almost went the incorrect way to light one after a ration meal. Canadian smoke, Canadian matches. White tip, strike on back, first strike. Got it in my eye. Oh. White filter. What a distinguished gentleman. You guys seen that, like, that sound with all, like, the little dogs sitting all proper? What'd you guys think about the, can't remember his name, the squirrel. His name wasn't Rocky, was it? No, that was the raccoon. Peanut. Peanut. What'd you guys think about Peanut? Made me sad, you know. Oh, Fred. I don't know why I had Rocky in my head. Fred and Peanut. What'd you guys think about that? First of all, if they had a real fear of whoever got bit, big old air quotes there, whoever supposedly got bit, if they had a real fear that those animals had rabies, I wouldn't be testing the animals. I would be quarantining the human and immediately start treating the human. Because, as you know, if you do not treat a rabies bite immediately, and then even then, you take a chance of still not surviving. But these were pets for years. If I'm not mistaken, Peanut was like 7 years old, if I'm not mistaken. 5, 7 years old, somewhere along the lines. I have not looked into this a bunch. I've looked into it enough to know. I honestly, it just disgusted me. Me being the type of animal person that I am, and having regular raccoon visitors on a nightly basis. Yes, they don't live in my house. That's the difference here. That's one of the big differences. Then I had an incident happen earlier today that was really odd. Stella was barking at nothing. Like, there was nothing outside for her to be barking at, but she was barking. So I went outside, and a little bit, one of our cats was on top of my car. She's not allowed up there, obviously. She was on top of my car, and she was in like a forward, getting ready to run, pounce type of position. And I was like, man, what is she doing? And I kept looking. I was like, what is she? I don't see anything. So I opened the door and go outside, and as soon as I done that, she took off the car, and a little squirrel ran out from underneath our other car and ran up a telephone pole. And there was 3 cats over there. Go, get down. You're not getting anything. There was 3 cats that saw her do, the 2 other cats, but there was 3 cats total that saw her going after the squirrel, heard the squirrel go up the tree, so there was 3 cats on the squirrel. And I had to go over there and round the cats up and run them off, and the little squirrel wouldn't let me do that and ran down off the telephone pole, and, I mean, little bit was that close to getting a hold of him, or her, whatever it was, male or female squirrel, I don't know, I can't tell the difference. But anyway, it turned around and ran right back up the telephone pole, even higher this time, about halfway up the telephone pole, and it's probably a 20, 25-foot pole, I would say. And I ran the cats off, and it come down off the telephone pole, went to the middle of the road, and then took off all the way down. My road dead ends. It took off all the way down to the end of my road, running right down. I mean, I guess I've never seen a squirrel just run right down the middle of the road like that. And he kept looking from side to side, like looking. I think he was looking for a tree to go to. And he got clear down the end of the road, which is about, I'm going to say like 1,200, 1,400 feet from where I was standing. But I could see him looking left and right. He'd turn his whole body, and there's a big tree on that side down there, and there's no other trees around it. It's just one big tree. And he'd look at that, and then there's a big line of trees going by over here on this side. There's a tree line. And he'd look, and he'd look, and he'd look, and he just couldn't decide. He'd done that he was still doing it when I walked away. He hadn't decided. It's kind of cool. I had just said, like, within the past, I don't know, it's probably like 3 or 4 weeks ago, I never see squirrels. I never see squirrels around here because of the cats. And that's, I mean, I know that. Like, I understand why. But I haven't seen a squirrel in years. I don't see mice. I don't see, well, unless they deliver them to the front door, which they do. And I don't like that. Which, I mean, I guess I'd rather them take care of them like that. I don't want them in my house, obviously. They'll bring ground moles and mice to the front door, but one of them killed a bird the other day, and I'm not happy with that. But the whole peanut thing, for me to see a squirrel like that's very rare. What is it? Bunches of, I mean, there's a whole bunch of squirrels here, but not right here on my property because of my cats that are outside. Can't time out a mod. So, I don't know if I brought this up on here before or not, but let me ask you guys. There's 20 of you guys in here right now. I don't know how old you guys are, but I know when I was a kid in the 80s, I lived outside. From the time I got up until I had to come home after it got dark, I was outside. We'd be in the grass, you know, like rolling around, playing army, like just all kinds of stuff. Playing in a creek, which I think was actually a sewer, but anyway, it didn't smell like one. Anyway, when I was growing up, there were grasshoppers everywhere. And I mean, in a day, I would see hundreds of grasshoppers in a day. I have made it a point to go out and look for grasshoppers. One day that I went out to look for grasshoppers, I seen one. I saw one grasshopper. Now, this gets into a conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's not really a conspiracy. Something's going on. Something bad is happening. Something bad has happened. I think it's intentional. I do. I know, like, it's not a situation where, for instance, like down in Florida, where all those snakes got loose when they had that hurricane back in, like, I don't know what year that was. But you got people down there, boa and pythons, people going around, and that's all they do is kill them. But they've killed off 98.7% of the raccoon population down there. They've killed off like 99% of the rabbit population down there. I mean, there's no mammals left. The snakes have eaten them all. And this is with people literally hunting snakes day in and day out, trying to take care. They're overrun down there. That's not the case with these grasshoppers. Something else is going on with the grasshoppers. And I would also say I see crickets, but I see a lot less crickets than I should. Like, I was thinking about this, and I thought, next year I'm going to buy a bunch of grasshoppers and turn them loose in the field. Bees, now, see, I've heard that Jay Waterson. I see a lot of bees. I see a lot of bees here, but that's a couple of my neighbors keep bees. Maybe that's why. But I have a very healthy population of bees here. Honeybees, wasps, you name it. Like, I see them all. Now, what I don't see, that I used to see a whole bunch of now, when I was a kid, again, is sweat bees. I don't see sweat bees anymore. I can't tell you the last time I saw one, actually. I used to see them all the time. You know, they used to be kind of a nuisance. Don't see them anymore. Mosquitoes, are still an issue. But, like, I think we have a bug problem. I think we have a missing bug problem, a lack of bugs. You know, you've all heard that they want you to eat bugs and own nothing and be happy, but what if there ain't no bugs? What if the bugs are gone? What if the crickets and the grasshoppers just aren't there? Obviously, they reproduce quickly, and you can pump out a pretty heavy population. Hey, Chusik. Well, we like having everybody in here. Hey, Viper. I seen you in the chat earlier. I meant to say what's up, man. I have to clue, but a pesticide issue. What the heck is a sweat bee? It's like it kind of looks like a hornet, kind of, but it's just, they're wee little. They're just wee little bees they got yellow stripes on them, if I remember. It's been a long time since I've seen a sweat bee. I ain't joking. But they're just wee little tiny bees, and when you're sweating, they're more attracted to you. I guess maybe because of the salt or the heat radiating off your body. I'm not really sure what they're attracted, or maybe it's just pheromones coming off of humans. I'm not real sure what the attraction to humans is. I don't think it's blood like a mosquito, but yeah, hang on, I'll look it up and I'll show you. Because again, like, what's going on? Why aren't more people talking about this also? This is something I really didn't, and a pesticide issue, 100%, that's got to be part of the problem. I don't think that's all of the problem. I mean, I think pesticides have been around for a long time now, and there's something more going on than just pesticides. Let me just put it to you that way. All right, let's look up a sweat bee. All right, there you go. They do have kind of like that shiny metallic looking body. There's the size of one on a finger. They're just wee little tiny. And see how that one's got stripes on its bottom? That's how I remember them, looking like a little hornet with like stripes on its butt. There, see that right there? That's that right there. That's what I remember them looking like. Black and yellow. Sometimes they would be a little bit shiny, like a almost like a back plate or something in between their wings, but usually their butt would be black and yellow, like alternating color stripes, like this one. But I don't see these. I really just don't see these anymore. It used to be when I was a kid, and we'd have, we'd do a cookout or a birthday party outside or something like that, especially if there was a bunch of adults and food around, like the sweat bees would be a nuisance. There'd be a substantial amount of them bothering us. And we don't have that. We don't have that anymore. I mean, sure, it's more convenient to not have these bees, flying around pestering you and stuff, but that's not good for the environment. There's some manipulation going on, I have no doubt in my mind, with these particular things that I'm talking about right now. How about the 43 monkeys? How about that? We ain't even mentioned that yet. Have y'all heard about the 43 monkeys down in South Carolina? Here they're black and white. Sweat bees are black and white there? Huh. They come in different variations, I guess, like color-wise, like the shiny green. Kaylin says, yep, she heard about them. Cliff, very common. What's very common? 43 Monkeys, the sequel to 12 Monkeys. Yeah. Let's see. It'd be like 3.5 times, right? Roughly. 3.5 times 12 Monkeys. 3.5 times 12 Monkeys. Be 36 plus 6 be 42. Almost. Almost. 3.5 times plus 1. 12 monkeys. But you know, I've seen a couple people discussing the 43 monkeys thing. And when you really think about that, first of all, they're highly intelligent, right? We know this. Who is going to catch them? Who's going to catch these monkeys? And of course, they've told us already, like one of the first things, they're coming out of a biolab. They're coming out of a primate testing facility that uses monkeys as test subjects and breeds and grows monkeys just to be tested on, which I think is, I don't know, man. Like, can we not get past that somehow? Is this something we really need to be doing? Anyway, who's going to catch these things? They're not going to be easy to catch. They're going to see you coming, and they're going to run. All right, tranquilizers. Like, you got to find them first. You got to find them. Like, I know there's been a couple spottings or sightings. People have caught them on camera. But super intelligent monkeys, maybe. maybe we're in for the next Planet of the Apes real life. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I am not a fan of them, LC. I feel like it's probably used and abused more than it is just using it when it's like medically necessary to do primate testing. Hey, Dan, cyanide cookies. We got some wild stuff going on in the United States right now. Do those Australians who just joined... Wait, what? Those Australians who just joined, I think you meant joined the chat, what monkeys and who let them out? And did you elect one? Thank you for the super chat, Dan. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, that's been the question, dude. South Carolina, there's 43 monkeys that escaped, so they say. First of all, those little monkeys were being housed individually. Or maybe a couple to a cage or something like that. I guarantee you they ain't just letting them roam free in a nice, really pretty built environment type enclosure, natural environment type enclosure. Nah. You know they got them in horrible, like inhumane cages. Somebody let those monkeys out. Let's just call a spade here. Let's not dance around it, and let's not... There's no other way that it makes sense. Unless one monkey got out, or two monkeys, whatever's in a cage, and then they were intelligent enough to go let the other monkeys out. But then, how'd they get out of the facility? All of them. Like, we're talking... This is bananas. Like, this is crazy. What are we doing? And that was the day after the election, by the way, Dan. That was that would have been on Wednesday that this happened. Here we are Saturday. Last I heard, they had not caught any. You know? Like, hey, maybe we can just put some piles of bananas out and they'll just catch themselves. You know, put those live traps out. They'll climb up in them live traps and catch themselves. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe they don't even like bananas. Maybe they don't even like bananas. Maybe some monkeys don't. I can't remember what type of monkeys they are. Daggone it. I learned what type of monkeys they are, but now I can't remember. They are... It's right on the tip of my tongue. Of course I can look it up. One was captured. So they've caught one of the 43. So now there's 42 monkeys. Yes. Who let the monkeys out? That is like who let the dogs out? Who? I'd say. First of all, where's the footage? Because if y'all ain't got cameras on a biolab with monkeys in it, what are you doing? Let's see the footage. I guarantee you these monkeys didn't just like reach out of their cage and unlock their cage and get out and let all the other monkeys out and then just kind of go out the main front door. That's not what happened here. I want to see what happened. Are the monkeys in the chat right now? Can I get a hee hee ha ha or whatever monkeys say whenever they type it out? Well, you know, they were a day late and a dollar short if that's what they were doing. Because now I say that, but there was also the elections that drag on for weeks now, and some of them they're acting like they're going to take a month. First of all, we need to stop that. That needs not be allowed. I mean, that's just a silly thing that we're entertaining for no reason whatsoever. I mean, common sense has got to kick in and take over at some point, and you got to say, if we allow ballots to roll in for weeks, does that not leave it open to, you know, some misconduct there? Like, just kind of begging for someone to say, oh, well, this candidate's down by 60,000 votes. Let's just inject 70,000 over here. How about this? Did y'all see the box trucks rolling into Philly at like 11 p.m.? It's somewhere in between 11 p.m. and 12 a.m. There were 5 box trucks, 2 smaller box, like regular size box trucks, and then 3 large box trucks, escorted on either end by police cars that rolled into the polling place in Philly. Did y'all see that? That was an interesting little thing that happened. Didn't really matter, I guess, but at the same time, it does matter. If there were any type of shenanigans like that going on, it doesn't matter what side. It doesn't matter what side. If stuff like that went on, it needs to be exposed and dealt with. 5 monkeys per box truck. Actually, it'd be like 8. 8, that'd be 40. 8 in 2 of them and 9 in 3 of them. But it sounds like they've caught one of the monkeys. I want to know what type of monkeys those are, because it's going to drive me crazy. Oops. Whoa. What type of monkeys escaped in South Carolina? Rhesus monkeys. Yeah, rhesus. That's how I've heard it pronounced, like a Reese's cup, but it's more rhesus. Rhesus macaque. So rhesus macaque primates escaped the Alpha Genesis facility on Castle Hall Road. One escaped monkey is captured in South Carolina. It says several others located. This was 6 hours ago. Officials in Yemasi, Yemase, Yemasi, said they recovered overnight one of the rhesus macaque monkeys that had escaped Alpha Genesis. 4 hours ago, WBTV reported 1 monkey captured out of the 43. So it looks like so far they've captured 1. So, like, the dumbest monkey of the 43 has been, he let himself get caught. That, or he sacrificed himself so others could get away. Who knows, man? Like, I'm sure that they have pretty intelligent, like, thought processes. Yeah, they ain't bad looking little monkeys, I'll tell you. I can't imagine doing the type of things that they do to these little fellas. That one kind of looks like the monkey from Night Museum. I know that's not what they are, but that picture of that one right there, kind of looks like him a little bit. And some of them kind of got like the bonobo, the ones with the big old pink butts on them, like those macaque type of a look to them. They got a big pink face. Yeah, they're pretty cute though. Poor little fellas and gals and boys and girls. Anyway, there's that video I saw right there. This guy's got a video. It's like, he's like, there's one over there in the woods, and you watch it, and you see something kind of move right in the very beginning. It's like, he's like, that's one of the monkeys. You never hear anything, you never see anything, but that video has went mega viral. So, like, if you want to get a video to go viral, go outside where there's something moving around in the woods and, like, film it. It'll go viral. There's one of the monkeys over there in the woods. You ain't got to be a monkey because they don't care. They just want, people are thirsty for any type of anything news-wise to correlate this. It's an interesting phenomenon. I can't remember anything like this ever happening before. Can anybody else remember anything like this happening before? I mean, maybe it has, and they just didn't report it in the news, or maybe it was like pre-internet days. I've never heard of anything like this happening before. So, I told you guys in the beginning that I had seen something that kind of piqued my interest. I'm not going to lie. It's interesting. Let me pull up my YouTube real quick here. So, I saw a video last night or night before of this fella that went to Area 51 and was camping out overnight, and he went to the front entrance, and they kind of ran him off with, like, they were sounding sirens and stuff. And then he went to the back entrance, wherever that's at, and was hanging out back there. And while he was back there, he started seeing what I'm going to just flat out say is the exact same thing that I've been seeing here for a little over a year. The similarities are striking. They look almost exactly the same. And you can see them coming up from what you can only assume is like right where the base would be. And you got these lights coming up, and then they either go left or right, and then they just fade out to nothing. The same thing as what I've been seeing. And I've also seen them go in a circular formation. I've got video of that as well. I just thought it was interesting how similar or identical even. Let me go in my history here. Alright. I'm not sure how long ago it was that I watched this, and I'll fast forward through to get you guys to the... There it is. His name is Mo Sargi, S-A-R-G-I, Sargi. Mo Sargi. Get through the ad, and then it's probably going to give me another ad when I fast forward through it. Alright. We'll flip the camera, turn the light off, I'm going to increase the speed to 1.5. See it right there? And see them lighting up? That's exactly what I have on film. I've showed you guys some of it, if some of you guys in here have seen it. I capture the exact same stuff. No flashing lights on them. There's no sound. There's no similarities to drones or anything else. See, that one kind of like, it wasn't flashing exactly, but it was like getting brighter and dimmer. See how they're... Look at that one. Going to the right, fading out. There's more right there. I do have the speed increased. But this dude, this is the first time I've seen someone capturing more or less the exact same thing that I've been capturing. And it just so happens that this is happening at Area 51. As you guys can see. See them? Oh, he did? I don't think this is fake, though, man. I really don't. Judging by what I've seen myself, unless this guy is... I don't think he's faking this. But I certainly would not surprise me that he tried to fake some type of paranormal activity or ghost activity. Most people aren't very honest with when it comes to that content. I got real bad screen burn on this thing, too. You see that line right there? That's the screen burn on this phone. Permanent YouTube burn. All right, now that I just showed you that, let me see if I can pull up one of my clips. I think I sent some of them over to this. I think I airdropped some over to this phone, and we'll compare and contrast. I don't think I've sent anything over this year. Although I did have a really interesting sighting at the homecoming football game. Alright. I think I gotta go clear back to last year. There's the freaking Northern Lights again, which they can try to say that that's like normal, and that's just sun flares. BS. BS. Alright, I don't know when I airdropped them. I don't know if I airdropped them like right at the time that I caught it. I think it was around October. I think it's been like pretty much a year. September, October last year. Let's see. Should start. Okay, I'm back into October now. Alright. Looking for the airdrops. I probably could have sorted by airdrop somehow. Huh. One of my little possums from last year. Look at that little fella. Got him wrapped up in my hoodie. There he is. Oh. I think this was around the same time. Period, though. Maybe I didn't send clips over. I thought I did. This might be one right here. Huh. I have no idea who that even was on that. What the heck? That was weird. Okay. It might have been up in September. Here we go. Here we go. Ah. It's really bad reflection. Look right here. See it moving to the right? Went out of focus. And it disappeared. Look, there's another one. Why is it so out of focus? Oh, maybe it's this camera. There we go. Look, there's another one. This went on for about roughly 40 some days straight, 42, 45 days straight. It went on so long that I stopped filming it every night. And then it just went away for a long time, and then it just came back recently in a different place. I just filmed some 2 nights in a row the other night. Look, there's one. See, this looks exactly like the same thing that guy was catching. I can't remember his name already. Mo Sargi or something like that. Something Sargi. Look at there. Another one. This is a pretty good little clip that I airdropped over. Definitely not saying that they're aliens. I do think it's some sort of energy or plasma, or honestly, I'm not real sure. But I think it's some sort of energy, like balls of energy of some kind. Surely don't think that it's aliens from another planet or anything of that nature. But what I will tell you, if my youngest son was here, he would confirm this. I did not catch it on film because I didn't have a camera. All I had was this that could film these lights at that time. Luckily, I got this phone right here that you're watching, that I'm filming with, or that I'm streaming with. Not long after, but me and my son were out there watching these lights, and there was 3 of them in that similar area. There's like a dip in the trees right there that kind of comes to a point, and there was 3 of them that were kind of making a rotational movement, and me and him watched one come from what I can only describe as outer space. It came from way up, like it looked like it came through the atmosphere. That's what it looked like, and it got really, really bright, so bright that it was like lighting up the environment. It got really bright, and it came down from that outer space, and it took about, maybe, I'm going to say 3 seconds, 2.5, 3 seconds. I don't know exactly. Maybe it felt fast or it felt longer. I'm pretty sure it was about 3 seconds, though, 2.5, 3 seconds. From the time that it started coming in, it came down, and right where those other 3 were at, it came in this fast, stopped, and joined in with the other 3. I saw this happen. I didn't catch it on film, but my son did witness it with me. Thank God I have a witness so I don't sound like a lunatic so much whenever I've got him to at least back me up on this. If it hadn't been for that instance or that incident right there, I would still highly question that this isn't just something I could easily explain away. But from what I saw, when I saw that come in from, all I can explain is outer space, that showed me that it wasn't just somebody over there flying drones or somebody over there dropping flares. Nope. When this came in, it got real bright, and then it stayed bright, and as it was coming in and it come down, it got real bright as it stopped, and then it stopped and then added itself in rotation with the other 3. And they at that point they were staying lit up, they weren't going out. It was weird. I don't have an explanation. I don't have an answer. I don't know what it was. I don't claim to know what it was. It was something. It was something. That's all I know. And this stuff happens often to me here. Maybe it's because I look up more than most people. Maybe. I think if people looked up more, they would see anomalies like this more often. Again, I'm not saying it is something or it isn't something, but if you look at books prior to, I don't know, it's like 1903 or somewhere along in there, but just say pre-1900. If you look at books, according to books prior to 1900, the ether was a confirmed piece of science. It was known to exist. It was an energy. It's where energy exists all around us. Now they don't really acknowledge that the way they did back then, and it was kind of erased from future books. The ether no longer is talked about in mainstream science or books or anything, unless you get into the fringes of kind of like where the areas that I'm talking about right now. So what's that about? And it kind of reminds me of, weirdly enough, like that Malaysian flight. If you look at the what's the word I'm looking for? The suspected footage, the 2 different angles. One seems to be from a satellite. One seems to be from a drone that had some sort of night vision or FLIR type camera on it. The way those 3 balls of what I would consider to be plasma energy that surrounded that thing, and the way they collapsed in on each other, and that plane just gone. It was there 1 second, gone the next. If you look at that, these things are similar. Or what I see is similar, because usually, a lot of times I see groups of 3, but they just, I don't know, they're just balls of light, balls of energy, whatever. Malaysian Airlines Flight 370, correct, yes. Candace Owens did a pretty deep dive on that I watched not too long ago. She brought in some pretty reputable people to talk about it. You know, this is a theory until it's proven, obviously, or they stop denying the fact that the ether is all around us, and there are balls of energy that are, they have some sort of intelligence to them or something. That's the theory anyway. But I don't know what these things are that I see. I just saw that video and I thought, wow, that looks a whole lot like what do you guys agree that whoever that guy was, what was his name? Mo or Sargel or anyway, that kid, does his footage not look a whole lot like what I've caught? And I'll tell you guys what got me, like, started to think about this. I saw a random video pop up of, weirdly enough, it was like a video of Charlie Kirk coming back from somewhere. I'm assuming like election related or whatever. But he was up in the cockpit of the airplane, and the pilot's sitting right there, co-pilot's sitting right there. I want to say the co-pilot was a female and the pilot was a male, is the way they were talking. And he was talking about these lights that look exactly like the lights we're talking about right now off in the distance. And then there was something else larger. I couldn't pick it out in the footage. I couldn't really see what, because what I saw in the footage looked like more of a reflection from something inside the plane than it did look like something that, it could have been something outside the plane that I was looking at that I was thinking that was a reflection. Anyway, that's a long-winded way of saying that footage got me thinking about my footage, and then I ran across that video that popped up in my recommended, and I kind of scrolled through it until I got to that point that I showed you guys, and like, wow, this looks identical. Because the way he captured the footage, the way he described it, is exactly, like, if you listen to my descriptions of it, they're described exactly the same. And I have not shown my footage to anyone but you guys on here. I've never uploaded any of it. It's like, that's not something that's just out there. Although I would like to dive into investigating in this. I did have somebody look into the radars, and there was nothing in the air, supposedly, at that time, that airspace was clear, except I actually had exact time footage of an airplane flying right through the path of where these things were at. And I could track that plane, that date, that time of that plane going through there, and there was nothing else there. So, what? The whole drone thing was really, it never would have made sense to me here anyway. It's not that I live completely in the middle of nowhere, but I do live in West Virginia, a very low populated area. Same with what's directly across the river from me. And there's not a whole lot of money around here. Like, why would people be flying drones day in, day out at night between 3 and 5 in the morning? Like, why would they be doing that? And in this year, they showed up in a different place, like very far away from where they were. So, I don't know. You just have to see the footage that I caught this year as well. Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. I wanted to share it with you guys, just because of the similarities, how striking to me that they were. Maybe you guys didn't think that they were so similar. I don't know. Have a chat with my guy. Make sure it's a legit military ration. It's a high price. I don't want a civvy. What are we talking about? Nation MRE fines. Let me go back up here. What did you say? Boom, 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 boom. Have I ever heard or witnessed a blip in time where someone claims that they were brought to an earlier time from before returning? Yes, I've absolutely heard of that. I think I experienced something like that as a kid. This is going to make me sound crazy, but I have vague memories of it now, very vague. But I remember it being insane to me as a kid what happened. And it happened fairly quickly. It was weird. It was really weird. But Captain, I can't remember his name right now. He was flying a plane during World War II. Flew over a base, I think it was in Italy or France. I can't remember which. I don't know if it was France or not. I can't remember. But he flew over this air base that was supposedly had been abandoned for, I want to say, a decade or two. And he knew this air base, but he flew over it, and there were like all freshly bright, just beautiful airplanes, and it was sunny outside. Went from a storm to it being sunny. And dude got trapped in a time loop. Like, he flat out described everything. And I fully believe him. I do. I don't have any reason not to believe him. So that's one incident that I can remember happening. LC, or an account of an incident that I can remember happening. That I thought was extremely credible and interesting. It was in the 97th Infantry, 387s. Saw France, Czech, Poland, and others on the way to Germany. Old birds were tough. Yeah, I'll tell you what, like, that generation, I'm telling you, we'll probably never see another generation like that in our lifetime. There may be one in the future at some point, but, man, you know, these much easier times, they shape a lot softer men, you know. I'm glad and lucky that I was disciplined and taught by my grandpa that was a World War II vet. And I had the utmost respect for him. You couldn't not respect the guy. You didn't even have to know anything about his past or, you know, the everything that he'd done war-wise. I don't know, man. Like, he was just one of those guys, like, with a little bit of age on him. Like, you could just tell he'd been through it just by looking at him and the way he carried himself and the way he talked. And he was just a genuinely good guy. Sounds like, John, that might have been how your dad was. Have I ever heard of... Wait, okay. Wait, what ration was... What ration was Rations talking about? Where did I see that? Or it was Nations MREs fine. I have to chat with the guy. Make sure it's a legit military ration. It's a high price. I don't want it to be a civvy MRE. Oh yeah, we're likely to have technology that's 50, 60, 100 years, who knows, ahead of anything that we know about right now. Like, I'm not naive about that. I understand that. But I don't think that we're just, what I've seen is just an aircraft. I don't think that's what that is. Unless we have found a way to basically teleport through space, then maybe, I guess it could be. Which, I mean, I'm not saying that's out of the realm of possibility either. Anything's possible. Anything is possible. And I would be a fool to say otherwise, honestly. I mean, I've heard a lot of numbers saying that the likelihood that we're in some sort of simulation is really high. I don't know if I necessarily believe that, but I think there is a whole lot. There's a whole lot deeper things going on, and there are a lot deeper meaning to things than most people realize. And I got into a discussion with somebody the other day talking about NPCs. It might have been Greg, actually. It was Greg. We talked about it some. Talked about it with somebody else too. But the fact that there are people out there that do not have any internal dialogue, to me, that's very strange. That you don't, like, have your own internal dialogue going on basically all the time. Like, I lay down in the evening to go to bed or whatever, and my brain usually goes a million miles a minute about things I need to do, things I wish I'd done, how I can do these things, ideas. It's just constantly discussing back and forth with myself in my brain, like, okay, you need to do this. All right, what if I do that? And just, I don't really know. I guess I can't put my thoughts exactly out loud right now. But you guys understand what I'm saying. Is there anybody in the chat that does not have an internal dialogue? Is there anyone that does not hear I mean, it's not an audible, but it kind of is. You hear your own thoughts. I guess it's not audible for everyone to hear, but it's audible, like you can hear it. It's weird, ain't it? Because there's no real sound there. It's just you. Your brain can trick yourself into hearing a voice. And typically most of us use our own voice for that sound. But I have experimented with the fact that I can make that voice sound not exactly like anybody I want it to, but to the best of my ability of what I like. That's when I think that I can have a fake British accent. It never comes out of my mouth sounding the way it does in my head. Does that make sense to you guys? But you can hear it in here. It just doesn't come out right. You don't have the ability to put it in physical form as well as you do making it sound a different way in your head. So the voice isn't audible, but it is perceivable. Right. Yeah, it's not audible, but it also kind of seems that way to yourself in your head. Like I'm going through it right now in my head, just thinking like you can have those thoughts, and I don't know, man. It's kind of weird when you really start boiling it down and thinking about it. It's kind of a weird thing, but it's also kind of weird to me that people don't have that. Yeah, I've seen the number. I've seen the number that says that like 40% of people don't have the internal dialogue. That's a little scary to me. Like, really? Are these people legit NPCs? Do they what goes on in their head? Like, do they never have their own original thoughts and ideas hardly? Or I I don't know. I struggle to understand that myself. Or maybe it's just flat out that there's two different kinds of people: the people that have it and the people that don't. They're lucky that they don't have it. Maybe they are. Maybe they are. Maybe they're lucky that they don't have it. I have a feeling that it's something that you're supposed to have, though. I don't know why I think that way. I really don't. I don't know what seems like that's probably the right way. It's like that. Not just because I am that way. I think there's a lot more factors to it than that. I think it probably keeps you from doing a lot of really dumb things. I think it helps you think out problem solving. It probably helps you not get hurt. Like, I think there's a lot of benefits to having it versus not having it. And then sometimes when you can just let loose and not think about anything, I can imagine that would be very freeing. But to not think about the consequences and like really roll those through, and I don't know if I'd want that or not, you know? Oh yeah, like, man, I ain't played Black Ops 2 in a minute. I loved that game so much. And then after I got hurt, I kind of quit playing. I was hardcore into the online play. I wish I would have started some sort of YouTube career with that. You guys would have never known me, but I think I probably would have been quite successful at the online trolling aspect of being an older guy involved in a younger kids game. Like, I would play all the time with my kids, and I was pretty good. I wasn't like nationally ranked, I wouldn't say. My son was. My younger son's very good. Not too late to start. Let me tell you something. I have tried these new Black Ops. Like, they lost me at what was it? Might have been after Black Ops 2, actually. What was after Black? Is Modern Warfare? I still played then. I might have played the next two after Black Ops 2. But whenever they started getting these really in-depth, like goal-oriented zombies maps, and then like the online play got really, I don't know, it started off glitchy and it got really weird, and then it was like people were cheating left and right, and then it started depending on how much you were willing to spend on controllers and routers and just different. There were different things that you had to spend money on just to be competitive, and that's when I kind of lost touch with it. But after I got hurt, like my desire to sit down and play a video game, I was in a lot of pain for a long time, and I couldn't focus on much else. I guess I just didn't, didn't both for a long time. I should have, though. I should have taken that time to just stay engaged with my kids, because I was in that chair right there in this living room for almost two years. Like year and a half, year and 10 months, whatever it was, before I even really got up and went and got in my own bed again. It sucked. It sucked pretty bad, and I just, video games was the least of my thoughts at that time. I did start making YouTube videos, though, about the time I stopped playing Black Ops. I even thought about making, like, kind of at the same time as I was starting the YouTube thing, also making videos playing some Black Ops back in 2016. But we were pretty far past Black Ops 2 at that point. But that was my favorite. I think, well, the original Black Ops and Black Ops 2 both. And then you go back and play the original, I think it was Modern Warfare. I was big into the zombies. I loved playing that. I loved playing it online, man. Getting hooked up with people from India, from Australia, from all over the world, man. I had people that I would pick up and I'd play with on a regular basis, and I was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Like I don't say that about myself with very many things. I was pretty good at that. I was pretty good at it. A Nord VPN. A lot of people run the VPNs. I don't have one. I need to get one. I need to. I'm sure I do. I should have done it a long time ago. The Mexican style chicken stew was pretty good. That's what y'all get, a VPN, online gaming, so you don't get connected to the same random guys from Bangladesh with a 200 ping. Yeah. I didn't, back in the day, that wasn't really that much of a problem. Usually the guys that I paired up with were, internet-wise, were doing fine. But, again, I quit in 16. We're talking, how many years ago has that been now? Coming up on 9 years ago? Well, it's solid 8. Solid 8 years ago I quit. I quit playing like I used to. I think we were even still playing on Xbox 360. I'd never really played on Xbox One. So if that tells you anything, it's been a long time ago. I was supposed to start today, which got postponed till tomorrow. Supposed to start designing the house. So it's going to be an over the winter thing. My contractor, which is my neighbor, is willing to work on and build it throughout the winter, since he doesn't really have much work at all, if any, through the winter. I'm talking fast. I don't feel like I'm talking fast. But since he doesn't have much going on in the wintertime, he said that he would be happy to work on this. He can walk to work every day. Literally, he's my neighbor. And it probably won't get done this winter, I doubt. But I'm hoping to have it done by like the end of spring. That's the hope. We shall see. We shall see. We haven't even decided on the technique on how if we're gonna go with a metal building base, so it can just be strictly wide open on the inside, or if we want to get a kit and put it together, or what. But it's either going to be 40 by 70 or 42 by 72. Wow, you slow me down to 0.5 speed, I'm going to sound like Lurch. It's definitely been an interesting week, that's for sure. You got a modded original Xbox 360 and a One and a Series X. Yeah, same. We've got 3 or 4 ones now. A couple of those new, what are they called? We got at least 2 of the Series X, and I've probably got 3 360s. Used to have them in every room like that. That's, again, we were pretty serious about playing. My kids would log on in a different room sometimes, and we would play together that way. But I kind of, like I said, I got out of it after 2016. It's not behind my streams on par as far as I'm aware. Oh, huh. It must have fast forwarded on you or something. Is there a PS6 coming out? What? PS5's old news now. We were PlayStation people all the way up until I started working on line boats, which is where I lived on the boat. And all the guys that were on my boat were Xbox people. And that's where I got introduced to zombies, actually. Would have been probably original Black Ops is when that would have been. That would have been 2000, early 2009, I believe, is whatever that was. I can't remember if I had them buy me an Xbox 360 before I even got off the boat for me and the kids. But we were PlayStation people up until that point. Like, I had always had PlayStations. Ever since my kids were born. PlayStation 1, then PlayStation 2, and then PlayStation 3. That's where we stopped. PlayStation 3 was the last one we had. Well, I'm sure I haven't gotten rid of any of my consoles. I still have them all. Or they should be around here somewhere. I still got consoles in just about every room. They collect dust, you know. I did box some of them back up in their original boxes. I always kept the original boxes and put them up just because we pretty much done with them. And all the games and stuff that I bought over the years I've kept. So that'll be cool once I get an office or a game room set up. I'm going to hook up all the different consoles and have all the different games and stuff. That'll be cool. I might even put like one of those TVs that you put 4 of them together and it can be one picture, or you can split it into four screens and have 4 different consoles hooked up. I still have my Super Nintendo. Our NES got stolen. Our original NES got stolen. Mom let someone that was renting off of her use it for her kids, and then they stole it. Now, that was my grandma. Like, my grandma, I left my Nintendo with my grandma because my grandma still liked to play more Hit Brothers. But that's what ended up happening to my NES. But I do still have my Super Nintendo. I've got GameCube. I've got multiple different Game Boys. The original Game Boy, the black and white version. And then I got a Game Boy Color at some point, I think. Or maybe I didn't. Then I got my kids the multiple different generations of Game Boy. Like the flip open ones. We never did get whatever that new Nintendo thing is. We had a Wii. We still have it somewhere. Got like we got all kinds of stuff to go with that Wii, man. All kinds of like athletic stuff and the Wii board thing and all kinds of stuff. What are you building? PS4. Maybe we did have a PS4, actually. That might have been the last one we got, was PS4. I can't remember if we got a PS4 or not. I think I did. I think I had a PS4 as well. I could be wrong, though. Yeah, my kid is, both my kids, I think, now, but I know my youngest is now a PC gamer. Like, that's what he does all the time, is game on PC. That's pretty much his thing now. I had an Atari somewhere. I don't know what happened to it. I had my Atari, too. Actually, I didn't get an Atari until after I got a Nintendo, which is really weird, I know. But that's just how it happened. We ended up getting it at like a thrift store. Real cheap, come with a bunch of games and a couple joysticks. Which obviously, I think that was just how all the controllers were. It was like, I want to say the console was like wood grain. Does that sound right? I want to say that's how it was. I haven't seen it in a long time. I don't even know where it's at. Yeah, we ended up kind of building my son's tower. I don't know anything about computers. Like, as far as PCs, I don't know anything about them. Switch. That's the thing we never did get a Switch. Yeah, we like to play in. Well, there's still one hooked up at my mom's on holidays and stuff. We'll play like tennis and stuff like that. Man, it's still fun to play. I mean, it's not a bad console. It's still, well, I think a lot of them are still fun. It's just got a nostalgia factor to it now too. All right, guys, I am going to roll out. I've had a lot going on this week. I didn't talk about any of it because wasn't any of it good, worth talking about. Just would be me complaining about stuff that happened. I hope to be able to get some of that stuff fixed real soon. And I feel like an idiot for not investing in the stock market earlier this week. The gains were insane, but anyway, I don't think they're done. I don't think it's done. So if you have anything, and hopefully we see gold and silver go back down a good chunk. I would love to see gold and silver. I'd like to see gold come back down to like 1900. Silver, I'd like to see it hit, go back right around 20. And I know it's wishful thinking, but hey, I'm allowed to wish. But all right, I guess I need to thank my patrons. Thank you guys for hanging out in the chat. Thanks for hanging out on the stream for as long as you have. And after this thing uploads, if anybody wants to come back and throw up a comment and hit the thumbs up on the thing, that would be much appreciated. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up on here or down. Either way, Google just wants feedback. Google loves that feedback. It's valuable to them. It's just like money. It's like currency. But I appreciate you guys. And there's a link to the Discord if anybody wants to join the Discord. And I guess all I got left to do now is say thank you guys for watching. And I'll see y'all on the next live stream. Later.